Quiet flows the dawn. Is your dawn flowing quietly? Or undue ripples appears in your dawn? Then don't worry, it will die off. Placid will become the dawn again, and quiet will it flow again and again. Welcome once again to News Analysis. News Analysis, a weekly magazine on current affairs. To begin with the main points in a nutshell. Obama says facts support accusation of Iranian plot. Galleon Chief sentenced to 11-year term in insider case. Iran scoffs at US account of alleged assassination plot. Italy Prime Minister Silvio Berlusconi faces confidence vote. Clashes in Syria leave 19 dead, rights activists. Seized explosive meant for attacking Delhi. Now the news in detail. Obama says facts support accusation of Iranian plot. President Obama vowed on Thursday to push for what he called the toughest sanctions against Iran, saying that the United States had strong evidence that the Iranian officials were complicit in an alleged plot to kill the Saudi ambassador to the United States. In his first public remarks on the assassination scheme, Mr. Obama sought to counter skepticism about whether Iran's Islamic government directed an Iranian-American car salesman to engage with Mexican drug cartel to kill Saudi Arabia's ambassador to the United States and carry out other attacks. Mr. Obama insisted that American officials know that he had direct links, was paid by and directed by individuals in the Iranian government. Now these facts are there for all to see, Mr. Obama said. We would not be bringing forward a case unless we knew exactly how to support all the allegations that are contained in the indictment. The president did not lay out any specific new sanctions against Iran. His administration is considering a number of measures, but has limited leverage and would have to muster international support to impose anything with real teeth. While Mr. Obama made his remarks during a news conference in the White House East Room with the South Korean President Lee Myung-bak, the State Department said the United States officials had been in direct contact with the government of Iran over the accusation. The State Department spokeswoman Victoria Nuland would provide no details. But Thursday night, a White House official said the contact had been made by the United States ambassador to the United Nations, Susan E. Rice, who gave a letter to the Iranian counterpart, Mohammad Ghazai. In her remarks about the alleged plot, Mrs. Nuland said, "When you look at these details, it seems like something out of a movie. But as you begin to give more detail on what we knew and when we knew it and how we knew it, it has credibility." Mr. Obama said that the administration had reached out to allies and to international community to build support. "We said the facts before them," he said, "and we believe that after people have analyzed them, there will not be any dispute that this is in fact what happened." The president got some support from some allied governments on Thursday. The Saudi Foreign Minister Prince Saud Al Faisal told reporters at a news conference in Vienna that this dastardly act reflects the policies of Iran. The Saudi government has not yet decided whether to withdraw its ambassador from Tehran in protest against this event.
This is not just a dangerous escalation, this is part of a pattern of dangerous and reckless behavior by the Iranian government. He had direct links, was paid by, and directed by individuals in the Iranian government.
Iran scoffs at U.S. account of alleged assassination plot. The government of Iran on Thursday escalated its rebuttal of American criminal charges that it was behind a murder conspiracy in Washington, calling the claims that Iranian agents had plotted to kill the Saudi ambassador with the help of a Mexican drug gang so ludicrous that even politicians and press in the United States were expressing concern and skepticism about such a scheme. The latest rejoinder added to the response of Iran's top leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei and his subordinates, who said on Wednesday that the suspected plot was concocted in Washington to distract Americans from their own traumatic economic problems highlighted by the Occupy Wall Street movement. At the same time, however, Saudi Arabia, which is deeply suspicious of Iran, suggested that it accepted the American accusations as fact, and Britain said it was taking the accusation seriously. The Saudi Foreign Minister Saud al-Faisal told reporters at a news conference in Vienna that this dastardly act reflects the policies of Iran. The Saudi government has not yet decided whether to withdraw its ambassador from Tehran in protest. In London, the British Foreign Secretary William Hague told the House of Commons that the suspected plot would appear to constitute a major escalation in Iran's sponsorship of terrorism outside its borders, British news agencies reported. He added that the British government was in close touch with the U.S. authorities and will work to agree an international response along with the U.S., the rest of the European Union and Saudi Arabia.
We have to make sure, first and foremost, and I think we've done this incredibly well so far, is to unite the whole world in the moral disapprobation of the Iranian actions so that whatever action ultimately is taken, whether it's in additional sanctions, some of which we've already taken, and nothing has been taken off the table.
Galleon Chief Sentenced to 11-year term in insider case. The fallen hedge fund billionaire Raj Rajaratnam received the longest prison sentence ever for insider trading on Thursday, capping an aggressive government campaign that has ensnared dozens and may help deter the illegal use of confidential information on Wall Street. Judge Richard J. Holwell of Federal District Court in Manhattan sentenced Mr. Rajaratnam, 54, the former head of the Galleon Group hedge fund, to 11 years in prison. A jury convicted Mr. Rajaratnam of securities fraud and conspiracy in May after a 2-month trial. Insider trading is an assault on the free markets. Judge Holwell, who also imposed $10 million fine and ordered Mr. Rajaratnam to forfeit $53.8 million in ill-gotten profits. His crimes reflect a virus in our business culture that needs to be eradicated. The sentence was a watershed movement in a 2-year push by federal prosecutors. Over that period, Preet S. Bharara, the United States Attorney in Manhattan, has brought charges against 54 people with insider crimes. Of those, 50 have been either pleaded guilty or have been convicted at trial. 3 other situations are pending and the 4th is a fugitive. Yet the crackdown on insider trading, a crime whose victims are not always apparent, has come at a time when many Americans have questioned why authorities have not pursued charges against bank executives over their role in financial crisis, which still weighs on the economy. With Mr. Rajaratnam, the government was willing to use novel ideas and hardball tactics to bring case. For the first time in insider trading investigation, the government used wiretaps to record traders' telephone conversations. Federal agents persuaded traders to wear hidden microphones and record their calls to build their cases. Italy Prime Minister Silvio Berlusconi faces confidence vote. Italian Prime Minister Silvio Berlusconi is facing a key confidence vote in a parliament amid questions over his handling of the economy and personal scandals. Mr. Berlusconi is expected to survive, but the margin could be narrow. Italy's government credit rating was recently downgraded, and Parliament failed to back a key part of the budget this week, triggering the vote. Mr. Berlusconi also faces trial on sex, bribery, and abuse of power charges. The BBC from Rome says Mr. Berlusconi remains characteristically upbeat about his chances of winning the vote, although some members of his governing Freedom Party have left their support in doubt. The Environment Minister has said she will not support the government after she learned that her ministry is to be abolished as part of Italy's new austerity package. Even if Mr. Berlusconi survives, most Italians are betting on a general election as early as next spring. Mr. Berlusconi needs a simple majority of 316 of the 630 MPs. His Freedom Party and main coalition ally, the Northern League, have combined 293 seats. The vote is expected to begin at about 10:30 GMT. Clashes in Syria left 19 dead, rights activists. At least 19 people have been killed in continuing unrest across Syria, activists have said. The UK-based Syrian Observatory for Human Rights said 10 people died when government troops attacked the northern town of Banaj. In the southern town of Hara, armed men killed at least 9 soldiers. The UN says nearly 3,000 Syrians have died since protests against the government of President Bashar al-Assad began in March. Activists say tens of thousands of Syrians have been arrested. The Syrian authorities have banned most foreign media, making it difficult for independently verify such reports. The government in Damascus blames armed terrorist gangs for the trouble and says 1,100 members of the security forces have been killed. China and Russia earlier this month vetoed a European drafted UN resolution threatening measures against the Syrian regime if it did not end its repression of the protests. But both Beijing and Moscow have also recently urged Damascus to adopt promised reforms swiftly, a sign correspondents say that they too may be losing patience with the Assad government.
شهيد هجوم بشار الأسد إصلاحه بالدبابات في كل دول العالم. الإصلاح للناس إلا عنا يبدأ بالدبابات. يريد أن يسكت هذا الشعب ولن نسكت. سننال الحرية رغم أنوفهم.